A blessed Friday to you, and thank you for choosing Luntha TV. I'm Kathy Matura with the news of this hour, broadcasting to you live from the Bishop Navy Media Center here in Lilongwe. As we find ourselves in the third week of Ordinary Time, a period in our liturgical calendar that calls us to grow in faith and discipleship in the midst of our daily lives, we bring you the stories shaping our nation and our world. We begin with a message from Rome that echoes this call to intentional Christian living. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV urges Regnum Christi to renew charism, embrace servant leadership. Information Minister calls for professionalism and integrity at MBC. Police foil small-scale business operators' demonstrations over lack of permit. In our exclusive report this week, Fales Chizombe finds that although the National Food Reserve Agency has enough maize stocks, lack of funds is contributing to illegal exports and growing concern among farmers. And now the news in detail. Pope Leo XIV has addressed the General Assemblies of the Regnum Christi Federation, delivering a powerful message to its consecrated women and lay consecrated men. The Pope urged them to deepen their identity, to see leadership as an act of service, and to strengthen unity within their movement. He emphasized that in today's world, knowing who you are is essential for engaging with society without being lost within it. Regnum Christi is an international Catholic federation that includes the Legionaries of Christ alongside its societies for consecrated women and lay consecrated men. ETWN News Report read by Patrick Pupa.
During the meeting, Pope Leo invited Regnum Christ members to rediscover the gift that defines them, their charism, a distinctive spiritual gift given for the good of the church and expressed in a particular mission and way of life. He encouraged members to clarify their identity and vocation so they can proclaim the gospel more fruitfully. Pope Leo cautioned against treating a charism as something fixed or merely inherited, saying the one who receives it is called to keep it alive, so it does not become static, but instead becomes a vital force that flows creatively and freely. The Pope also reflected on governance within the Apostolic Society, describing it as an essential service and a true ecclesia ministry meant to accompany brothers and sisters towards a conscientious, free, and responsible fidelity in following Christ. He insists that any form of governance must be oriented towards service, to support a company, and help each member become more closely confronted each day to Christ. He then encouraged communal discernment and urged members not to fear exploring new forms of governance, remaining faithful to their charism and attentive to the Holy Spirit. In concluding remarks, Pope Leo emphasized the need to foster ever deep communion within the wider Regnum Christ family, while respecting the richness and diversity of its vocations.
Minister of Information and Communications Technologies Shadrack Namalomba has described the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation (MBC) as a critical institution under his ministry, stressing the need for professionalism, integrity, and improved performance in the delivery of public broadcasting services. Namalomba made the remarks during a surprise visit at MBC Lilongwe studio, where he assessed operations and interacted with management and staff. The minister said for the ministry to effectively fulfill its mandate of informing the nation, MBC must be properly managed and its employees well taken care of. Cherit Chilanga reports.
Namalomba noted that the institution has not performed to expectations over the past 5 years and beyond, a situation he said calls for a change in mindset and behavior. He emphasized that MBC employees must be allowed to develop their careers without political interference, adding that staff members should be people of unquestionable integrity. Namalomba then pledged to continue engaging MBC to ensure it reclaims its role as a credible and professional public broadcaster.
Thank you very much for that question. Malawi Broadcasting Corporation is a national broadcaster within the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. It's a vital parastatal, it's a vital institution. As you are aware that the vision of our President, His Excellency Professor Arthur, which is also contained in the Malawi 2063, is to make sure that we create wealth, and that wealth is shared amongst all Malawians, and that we become a self-reliant nation.
In her remarks, MBC Regional Controller Takondo Jumbe commended the minister for the visit, saying it will act as a motivation to members of staff.
The Honourable Minister has also emphasized upon us the need to be professional as MBC. He has said that there is no excuse for MBC to be less professional than other media houses. We have, in fact, all the more reason to be more professional, because we speak for the people, we stand for the people, we have the mandate to speak for the people. So he has encouraged us to make sure that we're professional, we maintain our levels of integrity, we maintain our brand image, which he has lamented that it has indeed gone down over the past couple of years, but he has now challenged that this is the time to bring back that brand image, to bring back that conception that...
The minister also made a surprise visit to Mlambe One-Stop Center at the Lilongwe Post Office premises, where he expressed dissatisfaction over the lack of service delivery by some institutions mandated to operate at the center. Namalomba wondered why only the National Registration Bureau (NRB) and the Malawi Revenue Authority (MRA) are currently providing services despite other departments being allocated space. He noted with concern that the Department of Road Traffic and Safety Services, the Immigration Department and the Registrar General's Department are not offering services at the center, even though they have designated service counters. In his remarks, Malawi Post Corporation MPC Acting Regional Manager for the center, Austin Msukwa, described the minister's visit as a blessing in disguise, saying it would help push for full implementation of the one-stop center concept.
Initially, the concept was to include all government departments to be in one office, in one roof, so that our customers should be able to get the service at one point. But this concept was initiated by the government, and as MPC, which is under the means of information, we are already here. But the other departments, what maybe the minister can assist us is to engage them, so that they should also come in, so that the citizens of Malawi should be able to get their services at the right time.
Established by government in 2020 in Lilongwe and Mangwaji, Mlambe One Stop Center aims to improve access to public services.
As the world commemorates Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, health advocates are calling for stronger voices and real-life stories to inspire action under this year's theme, Empowering Storytellers. Medical experts say cervical cancer remains one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths among women, especially in low and middle-income countries. Yet, the disease is largely preventable through early screening, HPV vaccination, and timely treatment. Speaking in an interview, Bernadette Shunga, a nurse midwife technician at Kawale Health Center, said empowering women survivors, caregivers, and community leaders to share their personal stories is key to breaking myths, reducing stigma, and encouraging more women to access screening services. More in this report compiled by Alison Banda.
Chunga explained that when women hear testimonies from cervical cancer survivors or those who have benefited from early screening, the message becomes real and relatable, prompting more women to take preventive action. She expressed belief that personal stories inspire hope, raise awareness, and remind communities that cervical cancer is not a death sentence when detected early. Meanwhile, health authorities have urged women aged 25 and above to undergo regular cervical cancer screening, while parents have been encouraged to ensure that girls receive HPV vaccine. Men are also being called upon to support women by promoting open discussions on reproductive health.
Empowering the storytellers means encouraging the cancer survivors to share their experiences and how they were managed in the course of being managed by the health professionals during the entire period of treatment course. It is important for cancer survivors to share their stories publicly because it encourages and gives hope to people believing that once diagnosed with cancer, it's not the end of the story, but you can get healed and live a healthy life as it was like before. Fears and stigma surrounding cervical cancer in the way that the cancer survivor acts as a person who has gone through the problems, and what he's sharing is the first-hand information, like what happened during the diagnosis process, what happened while how he was getting treatment, and what followed, the side effect, whatever problems were experienced during the course of treatment. It's what is shared, and in such way the surrounding myths and misconceptions are cleared.
As the Cervical Cancer Awareness Month comes to an end on 31st January 2026, stakeholders says empowering storytellers at community, national and media levels remain critical to saving lives and achieving future free from cervical cancer. For Luntha Television, this is Alison Banda.
Small-scale business importers and exporters Lilongwe chapter have called off planned demonstrations after failing to obtain the required permit from the authorities, saying they will first consult widely and follow legal procedures before rescheduling the protest against the Malawi Revenue Authority's electronic invoicing system. Small-scale business importers and exporters Association Secretary General Frank Zizwani Muhango said the group decided to hold the demonstrations after being advised by security personnel to first seek clearance from the district commissioner and consult other affected traders. The demonstrations were scheduled to take place on Friday, 30th January at Balolanjovu area in Lilongwe. More in our report filed by Gift Kalonga.
The day began with several shops closed as small-scale business people gathered near Bwaulanje Mosque, planning to drive to the Malawi Revenue Authority offices. However, armed police officers intervened and advised them not to proceed due to lack of permission from the district commissioner's office, an order the group complied with. Secretary General of the Small-Scale Business Importers and Exporters Association, Frank Zizwani Muhango, said the demonstrations were called off after the group was advised by security officers to first obtain clearance from District Commissioner's office. He said the association respects the law and chose to comply with the directive. Muhango added that the business people have genuine concerns over the planned implementation of the electronic invoicing system by the Malawi Revenue Authority, which he said could negatively affect small traders. He said the association will hold further consultations and later present their petition through proper channels.
This electronic invoicing system will affect our businesses in a number of ways. Like first, we have a problem in our country of forex. We get forex on a black market, which is on a higher rate. But once we come at border, we find that losses, we start at the border getting losses. So this electronic invoicing system, it will affect us a lot. That's why we're here. As law-abiding citizens, we listened to what the security personnel that told us. Number one, indeed, we need to have the document from the office of the district commissioner. He gave this to the Malawi police, even to the city, to the Lilongwe city. So on that, we didn't have the document that it can allow us to go to a marina.
However, Lilongwe Vendors Association chairperson Mpaso Kalipinde said they were unaware of the planned demonstrations and will consult organizers for the smooth coordination. After the group called off the protest, some members who had gathered along Chinji Road at MRA offices were asked by the police to leave, which they did. Meanwhile, the Small-Scale Business Importers and Exporters Association said it will go ahead with its demonstrations after following proper procedures. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
You're watching news live on Luntha TV. We take a short break. Stay with us.
What's your name? Gary, huh? He's my game.
We put everything into this. Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix it. This city has been just a cookbook. It's part of
being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding the
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only lonely me.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you are watching Luntha TV News, and I'm Kathy Matura. Before we proceed, here is a recap of the top stories. Pope Leo XIV urges Regnum Christi to renew charism, embrace servant leadership. Information Minister calls for professionalism and integrity at MBC. Police foil small-scale business operators' demonstrations over lack of permit. In our exclusive report this week, Fales Chizombe finds that although the National Food Reserve Agency has enough maize stocks, lack of funds is contributing to illegal exports and growing concern among farmers. Moving on, the Human Rights Defenders Coalition, HRDC, has called on government to explain the rationale behind recent tax and tariff adjustments, warning that the measures are deepening economic hardships for ordinary Malawians. Speaking at a press briefing in Lilongwe on Friday, the grouping's chairperson, Michael Kayatsa, also expressed concern over the arrest of opposition politicians, saying the trend risks undermining the rule of law and public confidence in state institutions. Constance Kamtemeni has more in this report.
Kayatsa said the recent policy decisions, including an increase in value-added tax from 16.5 to 17.5%, rising fuel prices by over 40%, and a 12% electricity tariff hike, are placing an unbearable burden on already struggling households. He said these economic pressures are unfolding at a time when Malawians are facing high costs of basic goods and services, raising fears of increased poverty and social strain. At the same time, HRDC has raised alarm over what it describes as a growing pattern of arrests targeting opposition political figures, some of whom have been reportedly been detained despite court orders granting their release. According to the rights body, while the law of arrest must be respected, the selective application of the law erodes democratic accountability and fuels perceptions of political persecution.
The wave of new taxes that have been introduced, what we are seeing is a desire by the state to gain or increase the revenue base, which is not a bad thing. But the concern now comes when those taxes are resulting or are posing a risk of human rights violations. We have already held complaints from small business owners that the new electronic invoicing system is going to pose serious challenges to the running of their businesses. There are concerns around the privacy, there are concerns around the issues of disclosure. These are genuine concerns that needed to be addressed. So what we are saying as HRDC is that government needs to engage in dialogue. Government needs to halt the rollout of this system and engage in dialogue so that the government should hear the people's concerns.
HRDC has since called on authorities to uphold constitutional safeguards, ensure transparency in major corruption and abuse of office cases, and guarantee the independence of law enforcement agencies. The coalition has warned that failure to address economic pressures and concerns over selective justice could weaken democratic government, erode investor confidence, and further strain Malawi's social and economic stability. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Constance Kamtemen.
Human rights organizations have raised concern over the continued admission of pregnant women and breastfeeding children into Malawi's prisons, warning that detention facilities are often ill-equipped to meet the health, nutrition, and developmental needs of mothers and infants. The concerns have been raised by the Human Rights Defenders Coalition, HRDC, and the Center for Human Rights and Rehabilitation, CHRR, who argue that imprisonment of expectant mothers and young children poses serious risks to maternal health and violates basic child protection standards. Judith Organ reports.
Speaking to Luntha Television, Malawi Prison Service spokesperson Steve Mek said the service only admits pregnant women to correctional facilities that are located close to medical centers, with the capacity to provide pregnancy-related services. Meke further acknowledged that in certain circumstances, breastfeeding mothers are allowed to stay with their children in prison, but stressed that such decisions are only made following recommendations from social welfare officers and other relevant professional bodies.
Yes, pregnant women are admitted to a prison that is close to a medical facility, but at the same time, the medical facility has to have the capacity to provide services associated with pregnancy. But also there are circumstances where we admit women who are still breastfeeding their children. But the children can only be admitted to a prison upon recommendation from the social welfare and other professional bodies. But as Malawi Prison Service, we try as much as possible to provide the basic and necessary services to both the pregnant woman and the children who are being breastfed by their mothers who are in prison.
The Malawi Prison Service says it continues to work with health and social welfare institutions to provide basic and necessary services to pregnant women and children in custody, while maintaining that the welfare of both mother and child remains a key priority. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Judith Organ.
Spark Systems Limited has expressed its ambition to position Malawi among the world's leading countries in information technology innovation. The remarks were made by the company's director Wisely Piri during the launch of Think Tech Thursday, an initiative through which the company will showcase innovative technology solutions on the last Thursday of every month. Emmanuel Chiwocha reports.
Speaking to Luntha Television, Spark System Limited Managing Director Dr. Wisely Pili said the company is rolling out a range of innovative solutions, including access control systems designed to enhance security for businesses and government institutions. Pili added that the company has already engaged government authorities on issues such as passport production and fraud prevention, noting that discussion often depends on the timing of the government tenders.
Most of these issues that we say as Malawi, we do have the solutions here at Spark. And we've engaged some of the people in authority at different times. I should say when you're engaging with the people in the public sector, you have to be a bit careful to say at what point you're engaging. So I know you mentioned the issue of the passport. We've engaged them, I think that was before the tenders were out. Because we engaged with the tender, the conversation changes. The other issue that you're talking about in terms of the fraud, I should say that within SPAC, we do have the cyber security department that literally concentrates on cyber security. So we look at the vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, forensics and all that we're able to do within here. So those are the things that we do have the skills, we're getting the words out there, and we should be able to do, correct most of the issues. I think that's the discussion that we should be able to have as we move forward with government. But for now, we want to showcase that these solutions are here. People should be able now to question and say, if these things were having them here, then why are we hearing to say, for example, we don't have a printer to print a driver's license, we don't have this printer, yet we're able to do these things here. So let's have a conversation, and we've reached out already to the people in the authority, but now we're going beyond. We're not looking at Malawi alone, we're looking at the whole of Africa. Can we be able to do these things locally?
Spark System Limited has since reaffirmed its commitment to delivering high-quality technology solutions, expressing confidence that the Think Tech Thursday will make a meaningful contributions to Malawi digital transformation. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chiwocha.
Malawians have been assured of food security during the current lean season as the National Food Reserve Agency (NFRA) says it has surpassed its annual maize purchase target despite rising concerns over smuggling and farmer discontent. The NFRA confirms it has exceeded its annual target of 105,000 metric tons, saying the available stocks are sufficient to sustain the country until the next harvest. In our exclusive report this week, Fales Chizombe finds that although the National Food Reserve Agency has enough maize stocks, lack of funds is contributing to illegal exports and growing concern among farmers.
According to NRFA spokesperson Arthur Mpageni, the agency is satisfied with the progress made so far, as more than 14,500 metric tons of maize have been procured from local farmers since the resumption of purchases on 29th December last year. This is in addition to 2,000 metric tons of maize that government procured from Zambia to caution the country against the food shortages. However, Mpageni admits the agency is constrained by limited financial resources, making it impossible to buy all maize currently available on the market.
The agency has so far procured approximately 14,537 metric tons of maize, which has been purchased from local farmers across the country. This is in addition to the stock which we already bought last year starting from June, and also the stock which we have procured from Zambia.
Following the NFRA's admission, reports have emerged of some farmers allegedly smuggling maize to neighboring countries where prices are higher. In Mchinji, police have confirmed the arrest of 3 truck drivers in the early hours of 28 January 2026, accused of attempting to smuggle maize into Zambia using chartered loads. Mchinji Police Station spokesperson Limbani Mpinganjira confirmed the arrest.
We have impounded 3 trucks and arrested 3 drivers who are transporting maize to Zambia without permit through uncharted routes here in Mchinji. Our detectives organized an intelligence-driven operation where they ambushed the drivers along the dusty roads along the borderlines during the night of 28 January 2026. The operation was conducted after we learned that some smugglers were using uncharted routes to escape our police checkpoints. So far, we have intensified security by conducting patrols jointly with community policing forums and border security through checkpoints to safeguard our crops. These trucks were carrying 30 tons of maize, about 600 bags each. So far, we have intercepted the trucks. That is a Scania truck, NE 4346, and the 2 Freightliner. That's CZ7392 and the NS 10393. The suspects are expected to appear before the court soon.
The arrests have triggered mixed reactions among Malawians. Some citizens argue that farmers had ample opportunity to sell their maize locally when government opened the market. Speaking on Chidzulo program on Thursday 29th January, Benito Kachigamba Maseko from Kasungu blamed farmers for withholding maize earlier. But another caller on the same program, Mr. Pili from Dedza, said the government should allow farmers to sell maize outside Malawi if it lacks funds to continue purchasing the grain. Weighing in, social commentator like Mbewe said while farmers have the right to seek better prices, the country has laws that must be followed. Mbewe stressed that proper procedures should be observed before exporting maize.
Well, I think first of all is to acknowledge the fact that it is very wrong to smuggle any product, including maize, outside Malawi without necessarily following the established procedures. You may recall government previously invited farmers to come forward with their maize so that the grain reserves should be stocked. And these same farmers refused and opted to hold on to the maize in anticipation that they should sell it in January, February at a higher price. And government then opted to buy maize from neighboring countries, and Zambia was spotted at that moment in time. And the government spent a lot of money buying and transporting maize to Malawi, when farmers in Malawi were refusing reasonable prices. And now that the government has already spent a lot of money buying maize from outside Malawi, and the farmers now are coming and complaining that why is the government not buying maize from them? These are the same people that refused.
On several occasions, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization, Joseph Mwanamveka, has projected that maize prices are likely to continue falling, possibly reaching 20,000 kwacha per 50 kilogram bag.
Chaka chino tingatekulena kuti ndi chaka chodabwisa fatose timaziwa kuti mtengo wa chakudya umakwera kuyambira mwina mu December, January, February. Koma chaka chinochi ndi pamene mtengo ukusika. Mtengo wa chimanga wasika andi ukhala kusika. Ndakhani kunena kuti mtengo ukhala kusika. Izi ndi manena chifukwa choti mu economics timati demand and supply. Ngati china chilichonse chili in high supply or in huge supply. Tikwake maina kusika. So kuibira kuti apprentice yathu tuwatokoze kwambiri chifukwa cha nzeru zakuya zomwe ali nazo kuti amala bakhale nawo. Ndi president Khayo mwandanena kale kuti amatha kuziwa kuti apanga chani pakhala mavuto. Ndi president Khayo amene akuziwa mavuto a Malawi. Ndi amene amaziwa vuto linali lonse Malawi amakhala nawo. Ifake chaka chino tikunyadira kuti chakudya tili nacho.
But the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative (CEDED) has warned that such projections could negatively affect maize production. Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa argues that failing to address the rising cost of fertilizer may discourage farmers who fear producing maize at a high cost only to sell it at a loss.
The people-centered government should strive all the times to serve the aspirations and goals of Malawians. We are availing ourselves to help to stamp out corruption. You see, most of these top government officials, including cabinet ministers, are captured even way before swearing in. They are captured by an unscrupulous business person, especially our brothers of Asian origin, to an extent that by the time they're winning public contracts, they supply at an inflated prices, and in a worst case scenario, they don't supply at all. So this boils down to the very same people that were supposed to be protected.
As Malawi balances food security, farmer welfare, and market realities, experts say sustainable solutions lie not only in stocking grain, but also in aligning prices, production cost, and enforcement of trader laws, ensuring both national stability and fair returns for farmers.
In regional news, the United States has reaffirmed Kenya's strategic importance in East Africa policy as the United States Deputy Secretary of State, Christopher Landau, began a 3-day high-level visit to Nairobi. The visit seeks to deepen cooperation in trade, security, and infrastructure, reinforcing Nairobi's position as a key regional partner for Washington. Our reporter Alphonse Ouma with the details.
The United States has restated Kenya's central role in advancing its Africa strategy as U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau kicked off a 3-day official visit to Nairobi.
And we are here to underscore the importance that our government gives to its relationship with Kenya and the excellent state of that relationship. As His Excellency just underscored, our relations encompass many areas.
Speaking during a joint media briefing with Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, both sides described defense, peace and security cooperation as the backbone of long-standing Kenya-US partnership.
The mission would not have worked if there was no collaboration with the United States. It's important to get this right. In terms of the logistics, the distance from here to Haiti is perhaps close to 12,000 kilometers away. And the working together with the United States government was absolutely essential in terms of the logistics and other support that was necessary, and also to galvanize international support for funding of the MSS mission.
Landau said his visit was partly meant to express Washington's appreciation for Kenya's contribution to global and regional stability, citing the country's leadership role in peacekeeping efforts in Haiti, Africa, and beyond.
I am honored to be here on behalf of President Trump and Secretary Rubio, along with General Dagvin Anderson, the commander of our AFRICOM command, and we are here to underscore the importance that our government gives to its relationship with Kenya and the excellent state of that relationship. As His Excellency just underscored, our relations encompass many areas. Let me start with the security area.
The U.S. envoy noted that security cooperation between the two nations gained renewed urgency following the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombing in Nairobi, making counterterrorism a shared and enduring priority.
The importance of which can be underscored by the August 7th Memorial Park, just a few blocks from where we're standing right now, where there was a terrible bombing in 1998 in which more than 200 Kenyans and Americans lost their lives. And I think that is a very vivid reminder of the stakes here. These are not just abstract questions. These are matters that affect life and death for Kenyans, for Americans, and I think the Memorial Park is an enduring tribute to our relationship, the strength of our relationship.
He added that both countries see opportunities to expand and deepen bilateral trade relations.
We also had very important discussions on deepening our economic cooperation. There is much that can be done to bring further prosperity both to Kenya and the United States, where this kind of cooperation makes sense when it's a win-win situation. Kenya can bring in valuable foreign investment and foreign companies here to further develop Kenya, and American companies, I think, can provide many useful benefits, both in terms of capital and other kinds of skills. So,
expressed interest in key infrastructure corridors in Mombasa and Lamu, saying strong commercial and economic ties could further strengthen political and military cooperation between the two countries.
I'm very excited. We talked about some infrastructure projects, different corridors, Mombasa, maybe up in Lamu. So we are very excited by the possibilities here in Kenya, and ultimately believe that having strong economic and commercial relations can be a foundation for building even better political and military relations between our peoples.
The two nations also agreed to advance collaboration in defense and regional security, particularly at a time when the Horn of Africa continues to face instability. Alphonse Ouma, Luntha TV, Nairobi.
That United States high-level visit to Nairobi story marks the end of this bulletin, and here is a recap of the top stories. Pope Leo XIV urges Regnum Christi to renew charism, embrace servant leadership. Information Minister calls for professionalism and integrity at MBC. Police foil small-scale business operators' demonstrations over lack of permit. In our exclusive report this week, Fales Chizombe finds that although the National Food Reserve Agency has enough maize stocks, lack of funds is contributing to illegal exports and growing concern among farmers. In a world that can often feel fragmented, may we each strive to deepen our sense of purpose and identity, engaging with society not to be lost within it, but to be agents of truth and charity. It has been a pleasure bringing you the news to the screens. On behalf of the entire team here at Luntha TV, we wish you a blessed weekend and thank you for your trust. Let us all remember to pray for peace, understanding, and wisdom for our leaders in our nation. I'm Kathy Matura. Goodbye for now.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this.
Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix it.
This city has been just a cookbook.
It's part
of being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding the
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only